Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital. Welcome to Idle Game Chat. On this edition, I am joined by the 2018 Fantasy Gaming League MVP. It's Tom Adkins, not Ed Cock. How's it going?
I am super. Thank you for asking.
Did you even know you was MVP?
I didn't, no.
God of War and Spider-Man.
Oh,
So basically, you get MVP for the highest scoring team picks. So when you're picked and you come out on top with those two fucking Colossus ones.
That is incredible.
The only combination that could have beaten it would have been God of War and Red Dead, but that would have been impossible to get those two.
Yeah.
People were sniffing.
I was lucky with Spider-Man, to be honest.
What was you not thinking it was good? Oh yeah, you got it to get it on your second round was, like I said at the time, was unbelievable from everyone else to not have it.
Pass it off. No mistakes this year.
Got fucking agony getting in there. And Spider-Man not. You've got to query it, haven't you?
Well, yeah.
You've got to query that. We are here to talk about Anthem, which is BioWare's newest property. EA Games publishing this piece of work. We've both had a go during the VIP beta that is taking place. So you got us access. You got me, Logan, and a few others as well. Like there was a load of codes that you handed out. It seemed like we was the only ones who took it up. Me, you, and Logan.
No one else. Not even a sniff.
Not even a sniff. You got access to this by pre-ordering Anthem from two outlets in the end, because one coming £1 cheaper the next day. What?
That's quite. It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it? I can't remember what the difference was now, but you know, it came out cheap, so you might as well. But what was it? Purely a price that caused you to pre-order it, or was you sniffing around it and it's just like, oh, happy days? It's was it £30 or £32, which is.
I think it was £10 off, so it was 45 the first time, and then you sent a link that was £10 off, so it went down to 35.
Yeah.
Then it was £1 cheaper, I think, on Shop 2, so I done it, but I've got a deal with them where I bought so much from them. I now get like a 3% off.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I got it down to about £31. I was like, cool, that's for a brand new game.
That's very cheap.
I thought that's quite hard to turn down, so I cancelled my pre-order and managed to keep the demo they sent, the demo code.
Yeah.
And then, I've still got it pre-ordered currently. So there's codes to be had, but yes, it's almost over. But I saw it when I can't even remember what year it dropped, that first trailer.
Yeah. I feel
was
like
it E3 or?
I don't know if it was. I think it might have been the year before last E3.
Right.
I think I remember that's what I've got in my head, because it was meant to be coming last year, wasn't it? And it got delayed to this year. So I'm only assuming it was at 2017's E3. And I think Xbox had it to showcase. We'd heard a lot about it, but not seen anything. Whatever year it was, there was a demo shown, and we've seen bits and bobs. I think there was a closed alpha a few months ago, wasn't there? There was NDAs. That. So I know Sir Dave had a little go at it, and he was like, "Well, I can't be telling you how it is."
Oh, of course, I remember that. So it was that reveal trailer that really, I was like, cool, Iron Man the game. And I was like, I saw it. People were sort of saying, oh, it's a bit like Destiny, but that sort of sat at the back of my mind. I didn't really think of that. I just saw this new. It just looked like Iron Man, but set in Avatar world.
Yeah,
I was like, cool, look at these big luscious green rocks, and that got me interested. So I didn't really watch much after that. There's been a few sort of gameplay trailers and stuff, but I have kept away from it quite a bit, just because I wanted to sort of see for myself how it played and that. And then getting this demo, that's when I thought, right, time for hands-on.
Excellent. And when you say it was compared to Destiny, in your opinion, is that a good comparison to have, or something that actually turns you off a little bit after the amount of time we spent into it?
Yeah, it turns me off these days now. Just only because of the grind.
Dave fuming.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but the grind just became too much for me. I mean, the older I'm getting, the longer the game is just sickening me now. After playing Red Dead for 90 hours, I'm just like, oh. You know, I think I got my stats this year, I think, and it was about 70 hours or something in Destiny 2. I was like, that is more than enough.
Yeah.
That's probably abysmal stats to other people playing like fucking thousands of hours, but it was enough for me. So just that grind, that's what's put me off. So I was hoping, like I say, I kept it to the back of my mind, thinking it'll be its own thing. It won't be as grindy, and features won't be similar. It'll be its own thing. But yeah, to be honest, that sort of Destiny comparison did put me off slightly. So I was always reserved.
Didn't like the sound of people saying that. He's like, right, do I need another one of these? Probably not. No. You know, it must correct us, actually. It's actually called a VIP demo. You're the word that we said. Yeah, which is a weird wording, because that sounds to me like it's like a beta. You go, right, it ain't done. When they start chucking demos out, you go, hang on. I think it's just weird wording.
It is fucking weird, especially, what is it? It's like 20. Well, it comes out on the 22nd, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah.
And we've got, 4 days left of this month? So, 26 days, and it's out. So,
out in the public, so best
it's calling it a demo, but it ain't a fucking demo, so it's a beta.
First thing we have to address, which I think everyone who's tried to play the VIP demo, is the server issues. I mean, you tried to get on before us Saturday. I don't know if you tried Friday night. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Friday night. I was about to go out at 6 o'clock, and 5 o'clock it went live. I remember looking at the tweet. I even found a website of a countdown. I was like, cool, look at this. Boom, minute on. I was there. I was actually watching a streamer as well on Twitch, and he was on there as well. And for the next hour before I had to go out, it was just loading screen. That was it.
Yeah.
Now, this is BioWare, who have had a bit of a rough patch with old Andromeda.
Yeah.
They've got this new IP. They need to hit the ground running. Yeah. And this is our first impression.
Yeah. It seemed like that was widespread as well. Like, particularly worse on Xbox, but even all platforms seem to be having issues. Like, I think we could all get into like the hub world, okay, where you're sort of, for lack of a better term, like offline. You're not connected to anyone at that point. But as soon as we tried to enter the game world, either on our own or with someone else, it just was loading screen, sitting there for minutes and minutes on end, and eventually you just reboot it and think, right, that ain't working, is it? So it was a bit of a stinker. Was it okay today? Because I know we're recording this on Sunday, and it'll go out shortly afterwards. But you've had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm assuming by today it was a little bit more slick on that front.
Yeah, Friday. I tried again once I got back on the Friday night, sort of just before midnight, and that was again, I couldn't even get into the hub world at that time, so I binned it. I went back Saturday morning, actually. We all just randomly happened to be trying it at the same time, so we all jumped in, didn't we? Yeah. You were the first one to get in, and then...
Yeah, like you say get in, I got in, but it was like a quarter loaded. It was like going back to PlayStation 2 days. There was like colours all missing. There was all sorts of weird glitches. I could move around. I thought, is this the game? Is this meant to be like this? Like, is my suit glitched or something? And now my HUD's all fucked. But no, it was just it couldn't load it. But yeah, I got in, and then I think I waited. I didn't wait. I had a little wander around. Then eventually you and Logan got in a bit later. But
yeah. After a couple of hard resets, we had to go. We got finally back in on a Saturday morning. Yeah. And then I've been playing it. I played it quite a bit yesterday, actually, to be fair. So I stuck about sort of 4 hours in, I reckon, last night, just to give it a good shagging. And then I've played it today just because I've done everything you could do in the beta. Today, just sort of, you get a bit of a free play, so you can just fly about and that, just to give my final thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And yes, to be fair, technically wise, it's okay now. It's working as it should.
Right.
However, that side of it has been sorted, but we were the last ones on Xbox to be sorted.
Yeah, not ideal. I do wonder whether they'll extend it. I mean, it's late doors now on a Sunday, so perhaps they won't. But
that Friday was a complete write-off.
Yeah, and to be honest, Saturday wasn't ideal. Like, we were sitting around for at least probably about 25 minutes until, probably longer maybe perhaps, until we all got in. So it weren't ideal sort of playing, and by that time I was kind of losing my patience. I was thinking, right, I've got fucking Leon locked in a room somewhere, scrabbling around, he needs my help, and I've got javelins that aren't loading. So what's going on here? But so you said you completed everything that needs to be done in the demo.
Yeah.
How long did that roughly take, do you think? Was there a lot there, or was it a handful of missions?
Yeah, there's a handful of missions. It probably was about 2 hours worth of doing missions. There was one that you could repeat. It was a bit like a strike that you'd get in thing. I tried it solo and just could not get past the boss.
Oh, really?
It was that hard. They've told people that you'll be fine on solo, but I know I'm not the world's best gamer, but I seem to be able to get games done.
Yeah.
And this was it just seemed impossible. The sort of enemies and that didn't scale to the difficulty. It was an abundance, and I had no sort of help or anything, and just got drilled every time. And in the end, I just had to quit.
Oh, right.
So that was So it was a handful of missions. You get a couple of cutscenes. There's one cutscene, the end one that you get, and it just sort of freezes. I thought the game had broke, so I turned my Xbox off. And then when reading some comments on Twitter and stuff, apparently that's what happens. It just freezes, and then you just go back to the home world. I was like, fuck's sake, what a way to end the demo.
Oh, God, not ideal.
But yes.
The point you mentioned there about scaling is quite an important one, because I don't know if you were joking in the groups when you were saying, I've pre-ordered it, and people were saying, well, you need to have 3 others, and you was like, well, I'll do it all solo if it's good enough. But it seemingly doesn't seem like that was possible in what we've played. It seems like they definitely need to be tweaking that. Well,
even when you go to put your because it's an online-based game, so you can't be pausing it in this game.
No.
And the way you start your missions is in the home world. You go up to your javelin, which is your little Iron Man suit.
To me, that's a stick they throw in athletics. It's weird to hear it called a javelin, an Iron Man suit, but you know.
Yeah, it's a weird name. And I've just looked on Twitter now. They haven't extended the demo. But what they have done in the demo, what you did is once you've done those missions, you got an unlock key to unlock one other of the 4. You get 4 javelins in the game, don't you?
Yeah.
And you can unlock one more of your choice. So you start off with the Ranger, I think it's like the average one.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got the Colossus, which is like the tank.
Right.
I forget what there's like a little sort of speedy one that's all about melee, it's like really quick, and then one called Storm, I think, which is like a sort of elemental one.
Oh, I thought there's only 3. That's quite cool.
Well, you got them 3, and then there's a 4th. Yeah, the ranger that you get. So after completing the missions, it gives you the chance to unlock one more of your choice.
Oh, you choose. It doesn't just.
Yeah, you choose. You can't have all 4, but. As I say, I've just looked on Twitter now, and they haven't extended the beta, but they have unlocked all 4 javelins for everyone to play.
Oh.
So that's their little sorry, which is not good enough with about 2 hours left of the beta.
No, yeah, breadcrumbs being thrown out.
That's it. But as I was saying, when you set up your mission, you go to your javelin, and then it comes up with. You choose your mission, what you want to do, and then you can choose to either do it solo, so put your thing as private. But the second you do that, it comes up with an error, like not an error message, but a recommendation saying, "Are you sure? Like this is definitely a multiplayer game?"
Oh right.
and the first option, and like when it says yes or no, the first option is to go public. So it prefers you to play with randoms. If you ain't got friends. So they've all been saying, oh yeah, this game, it's a multiplayer based game, but if you want to do it solo, because I went through Destiny 1 solo, I played half of Destiny 2 solo, and the whole of the Division solo. So cool. I was thinking, well, these type of games, I have just as much fun playing solo. So
no one waffling over the cutscenes, is there?
Exactly, yeah. So I could do this. I thought, that £30 thing, that'd be fine. Getting in now and boom, fucking hell, they ain't scared it at all.
No, that sounds. If they're giving that option, that little "Are you sure, jobby?" That sounds like it's not. Either they've not got it. Well, they obviously haven't got it scaled very well for the demo because you've had issues with it, or full game, that'll be a bit of a stinker.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a not a great start, really.
No, it really ain't. No, it even says to the words recommend. We recommend you play this publicly.
And I always like to take the developer's recommendation. Case in point, Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
It says they recommend to play that on hard, and I did, and it was fucking hard. And, I don't know who's recommending that, but for some reason, even if I know it's going to torture me, I go down that route. I was talking about the javelins earlier.
Yeah.
Stephen James Backley OBE. He's a retired British track and field athlete who competed in the javelin throw. He formerly held the world record of 91.46 metres from 1992.
There you go.
I remember
Why's he
watching
not
him.
been?
He should be immortalised in the game somewhere. If they're going to be using that, I mean, he had the world record at some point, and obviously, he's a track and field legend. I always remember him for some reason. That's why. I thought it was Steve Backlund. I thought, no, that's a fucking wrestler in it, and then I thought, no, there he is. Dragged him out of the bins. But that's the sort of real javelin. That's the real quiz on that.
Exactly.
Before we go into how the game plays, I want to speak about the hub area. So this is where you kind of start, and when it comes to Destiny, I kind of love and hate the tower. Like, I hate that I spend so much time there, but I like the fact that it's easy to navigate around. There's lots of different things to do. Like, you spend time there sort of building up your loadouts, don't you? And changing things, trading stuff in and whatnot. My experience with the hub of Anthem was that it was almost as slow as Arthur Morgan wandering around that camp for Red Dead 2, which you can't even. I think if you go to first person, actually, you can walk a bit faster.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I might have to test that. Don't be doing it and then go, oh, it doesn't work. Sort of pluck that out of my arse. But the hub area for Anthem didn't seem that enthralled. I mean, case in point, a lot of the NPCs it says locked behind full game. Fair enough, it's a demo or whatever, but still, just trying to get around was fucking slow. And if you look at his legs when he runs, he's jogging. That's jogging speed for the bastard.
Ridiculous. This is the thing. This was the first thing we got access to when it. So the loading screen came up. We got past the palaver, and boom, here we go. First actual gameplay thing, and we're fucking walking at snail's pace around this but ugly bloody tower.
10 frames per second.
Yeah. They haven't released a video yet, but I did see one of the Digital Foundry guys saying about, oh my god, this is the worst frame rate ever.
Oh, really?
Could be about 15 FPS or something.
Oh, it was choppy, to be fair. I was like, Christ.
Apparently, they said the original footage that they released in their reveal trailer was on a console, and DF are saying there is no chance that was on console. No chance whatsoever.
Fibbed.
So, yeah, that was a smack in the mouth, because even when we got into the game and you're in these javelins flying about, such a fast-paced shooting and zipping about, to go back to that fucking tower and you're slogging around, and like when you go back to the tower, unlike Destiny where it slaps you straight back in the middle, it fucking puts you the other side of the map, so you've got to fucking slog your way all the way back again.
Much around.
No. But yeah, you sort of interact with some characters. There seems like some okay characters. It's obviously a beta, so you don't really get to see the most of them, but they seem okay. One thing I am happy to report is facial animations are okay. They're fine. They're not that bad.
Right. Better than Resi 2?
Nah, don't. Nah.
Resi 2 looks fucking good in that area, I must say.
Yeah.
Not to derail the conversation, but playing that this weekend, I was really impressed by how that looked in certain areas.
That RE engine is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are definitely not Mass Effect bad, but yeah, these are all right. But yeah, so you've got these characters that half of them you can't interact with. There's a few choices I noticed as well. There's a couple of characters you could talk to.
Yeah.
You had like Trigger. It's a weird one to do. A couple of choices of what to say. Typical BioWare. Left or right trigger. That's it. And you sort of just expanded a bit. Some good voice acting. You know, a couple of pluses for them. But for the most part, it was just, I just didn't want to be in that hub world because it was just it's just it's like fucking busy as well. I know, like it's supposed to be the end, whatever the fucking scenario is on this weird world, and everyone's living here, but there's so much in the way. I'd just get out of the way, mate. I want to get to my suit.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was definitely. It seemed like, especially when you had to do certain like 3 or 4 different like quests, and there weren't even quests. It was just go and talk to this person, go and talk to that person, then go back and talk. And it was just like, fuck me, get this going, so I can get back in my suit. I don't want to be stuck here. I don't want to have to walk to my suit each time either. I'd like to just menu it and drop in. I don't know if that was possible. If you had to always.
No, I don't think so. I tried that because I thought, like I say, every time I go back to the hub world, I'm over the fucking other side of the map. So I thought, right, fast travel. I was trying everything, couldn't do it. No click. I don't know if they're going to add that or what, but that is a fucking annoyance.
I mean, it is a demo / beta. Did you pick up any story beats? I mean, I know it's hard when me and Krog were there because we was all waffling and talking shit over it, but you got to play a bit of solo. Did you pick up any of the story beats or what was going on? And did it seem interesting, or was it a little bit like, right?
No, I did. I went back and actually rewatched the cutscenes on YouTube just to sort of get the hell what was going on.
That's the correct thing to do.
But it really did sort of take a back seat. It wasn't interesting. It's apparently somewhere in the middle of the game.
Okay.
Apparently they've said like they're still sort of quite hush on what the plot of the game is. They're not really giving a lot of details and stuff. But yeah, it didn't grab me at all. It's not made me sort of think, oh, well, I do want to find out what's going on in this. I'm sort of couldn't give a toss, to be honest. No. The main thing with this, I just wanted to see what the gameplay was like. So yeah, story-wise, it's not sort of pulling punches and tickling me for the minute.
What about the set outside, like the setting? Like, I don't really understand the scenario. If I'm honest, I don't know if that's. I've not read up on it, perhaps, but it seemed a bit vague in the demo. Yeah, is this something you can get behind? There's like people with javelins, and then there's an anthem and other weird shit going on.
Yeah, some sort of, I forget what it's called now. The anthem of something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's pretty much some power thing, I'd imagine. Someone needs some sort of energy to light something. There's evil people. I'd imagine it'll be that sort of thing. But yeah, it seems like you're called a freelancer, I think. So
that's it, yeah.
So you're this sort of group of people. There's other people about doing these missions, and that's the thing. It really didn't sort of elaborate in it at all. So you don't really know what's going on. I'd have to have a real look and see what the thing. But the sort of setting, the world sort of looked interesting to me. And it has did since I see it. From day one. Like I say, it just reminded me of sort of Avatar. Yeah. Like the sort of lush, sort of green foliage coming off of all the weird rocks, and you've got like waterfalls everywhere. It looks really pretty. And then you can sort of go into these weird mines and trenches and stuff, and you can actually go underwater. That looks really pretty as well. So like visually, the sort of setting and stuff looks really nice. And varied, but with this game, people talk about games being downgraded. This is by far the biggest downgrade. This might even be bigger than Watch Dogs.
Oh, Ubisoft's crown getting snatched away.
This is potentially what I thought.
Yeah, it didn't. It certainly didn't look like that reveal, and I checked, and it was 2017. I think it was. The one of the Xbox One X, this is how it's going to look and all that. So and we played it on Xbox One X, and it looked okay, but not what we saw a year and a half ago or whatever. So
that's it. So sort of like when you sort of stop and do a little slow pan, it does look quite nice, but the second you sort of start moving and get into the world, all you get is that texture popping, and
I mean, there's a bit where I got on a ledge of like a mountain or something, and I asked you to come over and look at the texture. It just looked like non-HD, just painted on. I was like, Jesus. I mean, again, it is a demo / beta, but it's a first impression for next week will be open. Yeah. So there's more people going to be sniffing and playing it then, and this is to sell the game, in my opinion. As much as it's there to technically test the game, which they failed at for the best part of 48 hours. Apparently they underplanned for server capacity. And it's like, well, with the VIP beta, you must have known how many people you've got. The people that have pre-ordered it, you've got the numbers. You've given free. I can understand with an open one because you don't know how many people are going to jump on. But if you just plan for the worst case scenario when you've handed out the codes, it's a bit of an odd one. And
it's a disaster, really, isn't it?
it's not ideal. Can Anthem be saved by the gameplay, the mechanics, the flying around, the Iron Man elements, the shooting, it has, after all this somewhat negative pitch that we've had, has it pulled its finger out of its arse and they've gone, right, now we've got something good to play here. There's something there. And this is something where, Steve Back would be proud to get in his javelin and not worry about the stick.
Well, that's it. This is exactly that. We got to the point we're all got in. Yeah. And there we go. We're going, right, this is it. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see if this game's worth it. This is what looks fun, the flying. We take off, and within about 10 minutes, we all sort of said, even the flying ain't that good. It took a little while to get used to it. I've sort of grown on it a bit, but to be honest, it's still not great. Gunplay is not too bad when you start figuring out how to use these combos.
Right.
The problem with this demo as well, like you say, it's the first touch. It's like the first impression. Yeah. There's not a single tutorial in here at all.
No.
It doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you how to pick a gun. Like when you got into the game, you said, "Oh yeah, hold square or hold X to change your weapon." I didn't even equip one, so I only had one gun. It was ridiculous. There's no tutorial, so you don't know what to do. But once you start fiddling about with it and you sort of learn how the combos work, being able to use because you sort of have like a grenade and a sort of like a special move or whatever it is on each of the bumpers.
Ultimate. That's it.
And then you get like an ultimate, which it's pretty. It's quite variable. You can, when you start comboing that, some of the actual shooting does feel quite nice. Like it's not as fluid as something like Division. Certainly not as fluid as Destiny.
No.
But it's serviceable. The only thing I did find is just it feels like it needs like a cover mechanic because
I
was getting you can fly around and hover.
Yeah.
Which feels weird to have the buttons that are mapped to that. To fly, you push in the left stick, and hover the right stick, you push. So it's a weird thing. You get used to it a bit, but it just seems like a weird button to put it on.
No.
So, but like I say, you've got these mechanics that you can fly around. But the second I was going up into the air, I was getting blasted down, and everyone seems to have these fucking heat-seeking missiles. The second you get hot, that cuts you out the ground, out of the sky. So
yeah, it's annoying because your like jetpack or whatever it is that's powering or propelling you in the air has like a cooldown. If you get flame dropped on you, you can't fly. If you use it too much, it overheats and you kind of drop out the sky. If you go into water, it cools it down, so you can kind of extend it. But I was a little bit put back by that. How often I was having to drop to the ground because it's certainly, at least I felt that the stronger elements of it are whilst you're in the air and moving around in the air to tackle enemies, not running around on the floor. That felt a little bit. It reminded me a bit like, and it's not the right comparison, but the same with like Spider-Man. When you used to navigate on the floor with Spider-Man, he's a bit slow and clunky. When he's up in the air web slinging, it was a bit more fluid. Yeah. And considering this didn't seem to give me much of an opportunity to fly around too much, I was constantly getting knocked out of the sky. And I'm assuming that's something you can upgrade, but for a demo or a beta, you should have just gone, right, give them as much as they can, so they can get a feel for what it's like. Not you get about 20 seconds tops, and then you back down, having to wait for it to recharge. It was a bit of
that's right. And they didn't there's a few waterfalls, but they don't seem to be like evenly spread. You've got to fly quite a while, and that meter goes down quite quick.
Yeah.
So you're sort of fucking running along the floor before your meter goes down, and then you've got to double jump back up to fly off again.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I've got to say there was sort of negative vibes on the actual gameplay. Like I say, it did start to feel better once you sort of played it for that sort of duration of time. But on first impressions, it didn't impress. And like I say, I just felt quite vulnerable because I was getting drilled every second I was in the sky. There's no cover mechanic whatsoever.
No.
I seem to have run out of ammo as well. Didn't know it's a fucking survival horror game. I kept fucking running out of ammo. So you got run up to enemies and melee someone. That seemed to do a decent amount of damage.
That fucking devastates. That melee. That was one thing I thought. Cool, we did that again.
Yeah,
it's fucking killed him in one.
Well, you've got to get on the fucking ground to do it. Well, you can do a flying one, but like I say, you get blasted out. So yeah, overall, it got better, but it didn't. It wasn't enough to sort of say that was the strongest point, you know. And seeing as this was the bit we was most looking forward to, the flying, you know, like I say, it did get a bit better once I got used to it and stuff, but there was so much going on around the character that it sort of distracted me, and I was just looking at the popping and looking at all this fucking cluttered HUD as well, which annoyed me. And then the biggest grit that really annoyed me is I'd fly into this tunnel and I'd be presented with a loading screen.
Yeah.
And like, you know, this is an open world.
Nah.
It's ridiculous, you know. They've said this is an open world MMO or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. I don't think Destiny has loading screens, does it? To go into different sections of the map. I can't remember.
I don't think not within, not once you're there. Typically,
no.
Yeah. Once you drop down to like the I can't remember what it's called now, EDZ or whatever it is.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all open. It's pretty vast as well. Even when you go into the caves or underground,
Exactly.
It's all pretty seamless. And yeah, this for one of the missions, you have to go in and out several times, and it was like, fuck me.
Yeah, it was.
What's going on with these loading screens? You'd hope that was all seamless, but it was, you know, quite an obvious pause in the gameplay, which I was a little bit surprised about.
Yeah.
In terms of like weapons and enemies, did anything there grab you by the bollocks? I assume you started unlocking new weapons at some point, or was it mainly just standard guns and like an auto rifle?
Yeah, it was pretty much standard weapons. Yeah, in the end, I started to get like on some of the strike missions, it was very similar to Destiny, typically, where you'd sort of go through this little level, kill the little mobs, and then you'd come to a boss, and then once you killed the boss, like Destiny, you had like a chest where you'll get all the loot. I didn't get anything amazing. It was just all sort of rare and special, whatever the green one was, common.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty standard weapons, but they were going up in sort of numbers, like in terms of power. I can't remember what it was called, but essentially a power level.
Right. Okay.
And that was going up. But yeah, so you could chop and change weapons and stuff, which was quite good. But because there was no sort of tutorial, I didn't have a fucking clue where anything was going. So I don't know if it all goes to that forge or whatever, but but people talk a lot about the builds in this game. Like you have certain javelin that are better with certain weapons, and there was a lot that was quite locked on the actual javelin as well. I noticed you had like all these sort of sections of special attributes you could have, but it was all locked off. So it just, you didn't really get a full sort of view of what the javelin's going to feel like, or you couldn't sort of work out how to play to your best ability.
No,
because it was all locked. But the weapons were pretty standard. Like I say, they just kept running out of fucking ammo. And it just, I don't know if it's quite a difficult game or not, but I certainly didn't have an easy time with it.
What's the enemies like? Are they?
Oh yeah, the enemies.
Humans, robots, or what the fuck?
It was a bit of a mixture of everything.
Aliens.
The first thing,
seagulls.
Seagulls we had was the first thing. There was these fucking seagulls shooting rockets, and then they fucking blow up once you kill them. So we had that. I think the first thing we came across was like crabs, was it, or fucking it was like mutated crabs or scorpions, something like that. So we had like a crab, a scorpion. I came across a couple of humans earlier. And then the main one was called, there was like an enemy called, I want to say Scarab? No.
Yeah, I think that's not far off.
Scorn? Something like that. It was something like that. And they looked like a sort of human, but with... They might have even been in suits themselves, because there was a few zipping about in the sky.
Yeah.
And I assume they're the main enemy of the game. So yeah, you did have a sort of bit of varied. You had sort of aliens and crabs and seagulls.
Yeah.
These seagulls were pretty much like pterodactyls type things.
Oh yeah, they called them seagulls. Yeah, they were like they were shooting flames at their mouth or something. Yeah, they weren't. They weren't actual seagulls. People were panicking, going, "What the fuck have they done at BioWare?"
Yeah, there seemed to be a few sort of just environmental animals as well, just knocking about that you could attack, and they sort of got a little bit hostile and then fucked off.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a bit of a variety in there, but there seemed to be quite a lot of them. The main one I kept seeing was like the scorpions. I don't know if we did that one with you. Did we do that mission where there's some scorpions?
There may well have been. I didn't really know what I was shooting at times. I was just sort of just fucking drilling it and then sticking my ultimate on to see that absolutely devastate.
Yeah, that did look really cool, didn't it, with all that?
That was definitely good. Did you get a flavour of what the structure of the game is then? Like, is it you do a mission, then you port it back to the hub, then you go and do a strike, then you port it back to the hub? Or can you go out into the world and just sort of, like you do for, like, again, Destiny, like you go to a shared space and there's events that pop up and other players, even if they're not in your party, come along and do it. Was there any of that present at all?
There was that towards the end, but...
Here we go.
What we got from first was what you just said. It was, right, it took you, the waypoint was to your javelin, and every time it said that was where your main mission was. So you went to your javelin, it give you the main mission, you set that up, you go do that, you bring your information back or whatever the mission was, take it to this bloke, give him a talk, and then he sends you off to another mission. You do the exact same again.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that I was like, right, okay. And then, but when I'd done those missions, I then went into the free play, and I was just sort of zipping about and flying about, and then I come across some sort of world event.
Okay.
So I sort of it just happened sort of naturally and stuff. I was like, oh, this is quite good. And then there was like a bit of a dungeon I could go in, and that turned into, I think I could go into one of the strikes or whatever it's called. I think it was called like a cave or something like that, a tyrant cave, something. But I could go into that and do that through the free play. Yeah. But I didn't see anything. I don't know if the free play was unlockable from the beginning, so I didn't know if we could do that. And
I didn't. I certainly didn't see it.
Fluidly go into any of the main missions, which would be a lot better, I think, than keep going back. I know you get the story segments, but just didn't like. It just seemed like a fucking fetch quest simulator, didn't it? It's just like, right, go talk to this bloke, right, go and get that, kill these bastards, get what I want, bring it back here, I'll send you on another one. That can get tiresome. It will fucking do it. And then you're just working your way. It's exactly the same as Destiny. You get all your loot, you bring it back, you upgrade your shit, get your power level up, and go.
Upgrades any good?
Is this
interesting or?
Not that I saw. Like I say, there was nothing that I could add to my ship. It was with fucking javelin, with bloody Jaeger. Better name.
Yeah.
It was just guns pretty much, and granadas, different grenades. Got a frost grenada, I think I got.
Yeah.
Took like that. They've obviously kept a lot locked down because they don't want anything spoiled too much, but it just seemed too locked, if I mean. It was just, there wasn't, you sort of, like I say, you could never get your sort of own build ready.
No. Yeah. I mean, it sounds a little bit hit and miss, a lot of missing, a few little positive bits and pieces, but overall a bit of a struggle. Does the BioWare name give you any confidence that actually the negatives that you have experienced would be sorted and be much better in a full fleshed out game that they release in 20 odd days.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the original 3 games that they made, the Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, they're like some of my favourite games ever.
Yeah.
And as much as Andromeda got shat on, then I swear if I was to play it now, I'd probably still have a good time with it.
Yeah.
They seem to have patched the shit out of it. They were patching it for ages, weren't they, after?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that BioWare name, and I've never played the Dragon Ages name, but they seem to have a lot of critical acclaim and stuff, don't they? There's a lot of fans there. Yeah. So, if there is a publisher, they can pull it out of the arse, and they need to, because it's a poor first impression, a real poor first impression indeed. But I think they will, but I don't think it's going to be in 26 days.
Right, so I think it might be one of those things where it releases, gets crapped in trousers on, and then over this year they get it to a state where people are like, right, now jump in, and it's a different beast. We've seen this time and time again, haven't we?
Yeah, with Destiny.
With Destiny. We've seen it with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
There was another one that was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit unfair to compare Atlas, but this Atlas that's been released in early access has been absolutely diabolical to start with. Yeah.
Haven't seen it re-reviewed, but Shadow of War, I know there was a lot of negativity about that when that came out, and also Star Wars Battlefront 2, a lot of shit they got, and the sort of developers said, right, okay, you win, we'll sort this out, and now people sort of say, well, it's not as bad. So that's what I think. I think there is something here that, there was something there that kept me playing for those 4 hours, where it was sort of like a potential. It was like, this has the potential to be something good, but it isn't. I want it now. I want it to like warrant me purchasing it and sticking with this pre-order. I want it to be ready and done. I think this game needs another delay as much as it's had. I think they could stick this into like July or something and just fucking hammer it out and get shit ready. But it just seems like they've rushed this out. It doesn't feel ready.
No.
And I think, a lot of people are they're saying that there's a lot of Destiny, that people call this the Destiny killer. I think that's far from the truth at the minute, unfortunately. I want a Destiny killer.
Use it to Dave's ears.
Yeah. I want it to be a Destiny killer. I'm sick of Destiny. I'm done with it. I want something new to take over.
Got Monster Hunter sitting there.
Yeah, that is true. But like I say, I don't think this is going to be hit the ground running. I'll be very surprised if this does well. Even that £10 off has got me worried. I think they must be struggling for pre-orders.
Yeah.
Obviously not if they can't fucking handle them.
No, imagine that. I mean, they can't have that on day one, however popular it is. They need to make sure it's working.
Do you have similar thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get away from these type of time sinks because I honestly, sometimes I played, I can't remember what it is, like 70 odd hours probably in Destiny 2.
I think it was more than that. Yeah, you were knocking up at 90, 100, I think.
It might be, yeah. And, I enjoyed it, but I just don't feel as satisfied as, say, beating Red Dead Redemption, where I spent more time and just completed a game and that was it, and God of War and playing through Resi 2. I know I've got a feeling I'm going to be much more satisfied from that. These kind of endless type games where you just kind of switch off and rot.
No.
Like you don't really focus in on story beats or anything. Like you're just playing the game. If the gameplay's not exceptional, and I think that's the one thing Destiny 2 has got going, is the gunplay is very, very good. So when you are switching off, you're kind of enjoying it. But I didn't get that level of depth or even really like that satisfaction of like popping a headshot, hitting a critical, things like I just didn't. It didn't have that same feeling, and that's a worry. Yeah,
it does worry me too. I keep comparing it to The Division as well, because that game was supposed to be like a Destiny type game. Yeah, it had that end game, but with The Division, I soloed that campaign and had a great time, and I could put that away after that end game and didn't have to worry about it. You know, you had that end game where you could go on and get your power level up and get all these new guns and stuff.
Go in the dark zone.
Exactly. You had that there, but I didn't feel that I needed to do that. Obviously, with Destiny, it sort of relied on that. You'd done the campaign in sort of 15 hours, and then the sort of meat and bones came out with doing all this other shit and getting everything.
Yeah.
So it's a different dynamic, but with this needs to have a fucking good campaign to make me feel like I did when I've completed the Division, enough to be putting away. But all they keep talking about as well with these developers is about how their end games, they're working on their end game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yourself, I don't want to fucking sit there playing this for the rest of the year.
It's a tricky one. They're kind of known as what games as service, and you know the reason Monster Hunter kind of gets a pass, but its own kind of play because it plays very differently to anything else like it. Like it's a melee focused hunting monsters cooperative type thing, and you know there's a lot more strategy involved. Whereas when it come to this, like the flying around felt okay, but it felt weird that I didn't have to like hold a button to keep propelling forward. Like it didn't give me that sort of feedback. You sort of just click left stick and then press forward and steer. And I was a bit like, oh, that feels a little bit hands off. And yeah, like I said, the shooting just didn't feel very satisfying. And I didn't know what the hell was going on with the story or the characters. There was nothing there. But I was like, oh, got to see what happens in this. And then even down to customising the javelins, it was okay. I managed to make it like a Southend away kit from the 90s. And
didn't even realise that. I didn't even know you could change your colours until fucking I watched some YouTube video and realised that you could turn right. I kept coming up with these fucking balls. I was like, what are these balls doing? They're just different, like fucking matte or metallic. I was like, right. Yeah. Needs a tutorial.
Not ideal. At this stage, have you made a decision on what happens with that pre-order? Is it gonna stay for a little bit longer, or is it potentially getting dropped, or is it undecided?
Well, this is the thing.
Need to lay down.
It needs putting down, really. You know, I'm not ready for it. I don't think the game's ready. But it's a good price. And I don't want to. I think what I'm going to do is wait till next week. I'm getting too close here. See if this open beta is any different. I'm sure it probably won't be. It's just going to be more shit, more to it. I'm not even sure if it's exactly the same beta as this one. I assume it is, but now they've unlocked everything. What we just found out. Yeah. Breaking news. Yeah. I'm going to give the other javelins a little go and see, but if I was on percentages, I'm about 70% sure I'm going to cancel.
Binned.
I'm about 70%. There's
pre-order it or bin it.
That's it. That's the new
system.
The thing is as well, I know the guys that would play you and that are not. They're not day oneers. And like I say, I tried to play this solo this weekend just to see if I think, they're not going to buy it, then
division
it, and people might get it later on, and I'll happily jump on with them then. But yeah, from what I've played, it's not something that's going to interest me playing solo. I don't want to be struggling to get through it and then fucking end up with egg on my face.
No. What could they do to turn it around? Is there anything at this stage?
Restart. Do a Metro that reset 4. Button. Give it to another developer. Give it to fucking CD Projekt Red. It needs a lot of work. I think. I say it needs to sort of lower its identity. I think it does. It's just a fucking Destiny clone. But it just. I feel it needs like a cover mechanic somehow. It doesn't. Right. I don't want it to be like a Gears of War fucking cover shooter, but just something to let me feel less vulnerable. Like I say, the second I'm flying in the air, I'm getting shot down. When I'm on the floor, it doesn't feel great shooting. It just needs tightening up, and like I say, just technically the game doesn't seem ready. There's so much popping. They've obviously downgraded the fuck out of the game. All these loading screens and problems. It just doesn't give me any positivity for release date. So I think it just needs polish, really. And you think
Right.
a game in 2019, coming to the end of the cycle now, these consoles, and you've got fucking Resident Evil 2 that's come out that's just like sublime. Absolute polish central. And then this comes out and you're looking at fucking blurry textures and dodgy flying mechanics.
Fucking seagulls shooting fucking fire out their gobs. The one thing that really, most of all, kind of concerns me about this particular game is what happens if this turns out to be a financial and a critical failure. What happens to BioWare?
Yeah,
because they have been working on this. So they've been having two teams. One team went and worked on Andromeda. The other team were focusing on this since about 2012, 2013, since Mass Effect 3 come out. And EA, as we know, as we've seen they've done with their Star Wars license, happy to axe games and shut down Visceral.
Yeah.
They don't be standing for things that don't succeed.
that is true.
Potentially it could be two stinkers in a row for BioWare, and I just feel that might
could put them out,
kill them off.
They have announced the next Dragon Age, haven't they? Well,
yeah, I mean,
it's only a fucking name as well, so similar to that Star Wars one, that was cut, and they've been working on that for at least a year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm concerned that this could be the start of the end for BioWare. Like if this fails or doesn't meet the standards required, that it will set off a chain of events that will eventually see BioWare getting drilled out of it, and that'll be the end of them. Mass Effect on the fucking scrap heap, no more Dragon Age, and EA will be going. Alan at EA will be going. Well, I gave it a chance.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a new IP in that. It's got a lot of hype and anticipation. I'd love to see him pull it off, but this demo has done nothing but sort of add to those worries I had, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I want to see him succeed. I want to watch back that trailer I saw from 2017. I was like, look at this. This looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I got the polar opposite that playing this demo. I was like, what is this? And it's a shame because, there could be something good here. It could be interesting. I like the setting. Flying about could be good if it was done better. The gunplay doesn't feel good, and that's pretty much just meat and potatoes, and I ain't getting it right. So it is a big concern, a big worry, and it's annoying.
Come on, BioWare, pull it out the bag somehow. Don't go under as well. Can't have you on the scrap heap. But honestly, that's what I'm not talking like in the month after release. I'm talking in a few years' time. BioWare will be put on the scrap heap, and then we'll say, well, we know what started that off.
Yeah,
it could be Anthem, lots of eggs in one basket and not delivering. But I think we've come to a natural end of Anthem VIP demo reactions and impressions.
Yeah,
not the most uplifting conversation.
No,
but it's people are out there giving their thoughts, and this is where ours stands. Not on the completely negative side, but certainly not a beaming positive one. It didn't grab us by the gollards, did it?
No, it really didn't. No, those fucking bollards are still standing. They need grabbing.
They need a good fucking yank sometimes, don't they?
They really do. I want some new succulent IPs to grab them.
But, hey, as I've seen with Resi 2, just remake the old good ones and make them modern, and I'll be all over it. Yeah. Do Resi 3 after this, then go back and do Resi 1, then do Resi 4, then do 5, then do 6. Whilst doing 8, 9 and 10. Come on.
Exactly. The boys at Sega know how to do it. Fucking Yakuza. They've been milking that dry. They love it. Now it works for Resi. BioWare, mate, fucking get that Mass Effect 1 remastered going.
Do that.
That'd be amazing.
I'll be satisfied. Yeah, put in Mass Effect 2 combat, or even Andromeda combat. That was
pretty good, wasn't it?
And then maybe one day we can dream that Konami finally do something with Metal Gear Solid and hand over the license to Kojima to remake that from the ground up, because that was all those fan remakes. All those little like mod things.
Yeah.
Massive Metal Gear Solid Unity, and you think, "Cool, if only." And then Konami fucking shut it down a day later and go, "Get that off the internet." It's not happening.
Oh, they're fuckers. But, yeah, it's sad.
But who knows? I mean, it could. It's still a bit of time, but the impressions that we've got and the technical issues didn't help, and it just wasn't ideal for anyone.
Yeah.
But those of you who are interested in playing and haven't, you'll be able to play next weekend. So I'll just be checking that EA or BioWare Twitters and news and knowing when you can get it. But I believe it's an open demo or beta, so you shouldn't have any problems accessing that. But Adkins, thanks for spending this evening to
It's all right, mate. Cheers.
give everyone your honest opinion on Anthem. We'll be back soon. Every Sunday we seem to be dropping a little bit of content. So sometimes we run out and go a couple of weeks, but thus far keeping up that it's not really a promise, that particular direction that we're going. So tune in, hit the sub button on your podcasting app or on YouTube, and you'll be alerted the next time we drop an episode. But nothing more for us to say apart from thanks for your time and ta-da.